Now, I'm going to play some footage for you guys at the UFC press conference with Jon Jones. And I want you guys to tell me what in the hell is wrong with this picture here.
Hi, over here. I'm going to start with a couple of questions to Jon. How come this is the third time we're actually taking focus from the fighters and the fights and talking about what you have in your body, whether it's a picogram or a pictogram? Why have you tested now positive?
Next question, please. Thank you.
Oh, wow. All right. Dana White, tell me, why are we still having this guy here instead of seeing a 2-year suspension like Frank Mir?
Why are we still what? What's the question? Hold on. Hold on.
Sit down.
I'm sitting down.
I want to take the mic from her. Better questions. Better journalism.
I don't understand what your question is.
Is there a real
what's the reason?
Better journalism. Better journalism. You suck. Better journalism.
Hold on. Let him talk. What's the question?
What's the reason for Jon Jones having a picogram in his body?
That's been the topic of
That's
this
why
entire.
I'm asking him.
Have you been listening?
I told you, like I told Ariel, talk to Jeff Nowitzki about that. If you want to know the science of what's going on, talk to him.
All right.
Now, this lady has a legitimate question. How are you not suspended for 2 years? How are you still here? Why are you being rewarded for being a steroid taker? And did you hear how the crowd turned on her? As if she was doing something unprofessional, unethical, and just downright rude. Okay? She has a very logical question. Why are you not suspended for 2 years? Why are you still here? And did you hear how the crowd, and this is what I want to know, and some of you UFC fans that's in my comment section, you guys can let me know. Since when did everybody jump back on Jon Jones' dick? I'm just wondering. Because the last time this happened, everybody was totally against him. This lady's up here asking a question about athletes taking performance-enhancing drugs and competing in combat sports with no repercussions to their actions. And yet she gets booed, cussed out, and she's the bad person? What the hell is going on with the UFC? Real talk. What the hell is going on with the UFC? See, it's stuff like this. This is exactly why Conor McGregor didn't respect the rules and the obligations that were put upon him by being a champion and a UFC fighter. This is why he showed up late to all those press conferences. You want to know why? Because he could. He understood, I'm the cash cow. Money ruled the world. I'll show up there when I show up there. It's no UFC without me. I do what I want. And what Dana White bloated ass do? Cower down, give in to his demands. So you're sending the message that as long as I'm the breadwinner, as long as I'm the person that people show up to see, as long as I'm the person trailblazing the sport of UFC, you could do whatever the fuck you want. That's what that message conveys. Okay? This is why Conor McGregor didn't respect anything. Because he understood he had the element of money. And once again, once you got a whole bunch of fighters thinking like that, they're going to start overrunning you. See, the Fertitas seen this shit. That's why they got the fuck out. Straight up. That's why they got out. But when you do stuff like this, you're saying money will rule over everything. As long as you're in high demand in this sport and you're doing what we need to push this sport forward, we will overlook drug tests. We will overlook you beating your wife. We will even throw in there a flawed decision on your end. You know what I'm saying? We'll have you win fights that you're not supposed to win, because having you lose, the company loses, and we want this sport to keep making money and keep being lucrative. So you're putting the message out there. It don't matter if Jon Jones. So that's, and the crazy part is he has now gotten the fan base and the UFC and the people that support UFC. He has got those people to embrace that concept. I mean, just listen to the people and how they were treating that lady for asking a sensible, logical question. So now y'all don't care about PEDs. Obviously, y'all don't care about PEDs. And this is my problem. Because just like I'm a boxing fans that come and lounge in the UFC diaspora things, and I like UFC and all that stuff, it's the same thing with basically boxing fans are UFC fighters. And fighters, I'm fucking up. Boxing fans are UFC fans. UFC fans are boxing fans. Okay? We're interchangeable. So my thing is, a lot of you hardcore UFC fans will come over to boxing and be crying about boxers failing drug tests and how this person's a cheat and how that person is a cheat and this, that, and the third. Okay? Jon Jones sat up there and told that lady, I'm not going to answer that question. Really? You're not going to answer the question? So the point is, you got people over there in your sport, failing. Let everybody knows Brock Lesnar failed the drug test and they still let him fight. We all know this. Everybody know about Jon Jones, Bones Jones. Everybody know Anderson Silva was definitely taking steroids after that leg injury. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely nothing shocking. But as long as you the person that's bringing in the cheese, it does not matter. But I'm just surprised how the crowd just turned on this lady and how they're now embracing Jon Jones being a fucking cheater. Look, I love Jon Jones, man. I admire anybody that can do with their body that most of the people can't, or refuse to do, or too scared to do. I like Jon Jones. I think, without a shadow of a doubt, he's arguably the greatest UFC fighter that ever touched foot in the octagon. I remember when Jon Jones came on the scene with the backwards hat and the headphones and the, you know what I'm saying? I remember it was just basically a kid just basically coming off the couch, trained himself, and went into UFC and started dominating. You know what I'm saying? I like Jon Jones, but what's happening here is wrong. This is wrong. But that's why I also said that, look, we just need to make PEDs legal across the board. Fuck it, man. We got to stop pretending, man. Seriously, just think about it. We're still living in a day and time where professional bodybuilders can still get on camera and look us dead in the eye and say that they're natural, and we accept it. We all know they're not natural, but we just keep up the front. Fuck all that, man. You need to just make it legal all the way across the board, man. I actually don't care if an athlete uses performance enhancing drugs. They're professional athletes. I don't have no problem with it. But if you're going to ban it, then ban it. Don't say you're banning it just for show's sake of the fans, but really behind closed doors. Shit, you don't give a fuck what these fighters are on. Like Nate Diaz said, everybody's on it. He wasn't lying. Everybody is on it. But this is a bad look right here. And not only that, you lose integrity when you do stuff like this. Just look at what Khabib wrote Dana White on Instagram. Look at that. He said, go ahead and make it legal. For the president of the company for a UFC fighter to write him something like that on Instagram. I mean, it should be embarrassing. It should be shameful. And in order to keep this man to fight, you're going to move the entire card. It's all about money. So basically, in a nutshell, if you get in there and knock people out, and you bring some heat to your name, you could do whatever the fuck you want in the UFC. Conor McGregor showed you that. As soon as he found out he was the man, he ain't showed up to a press conference on time since. Period. Got his money with Mayweather and got the fuck on. Period. But, you know, it was just something that I was literally damn near shocked at seeing. And I'm like, when did people jump back on the Jon Jones train? Last time he did this, oh, he's a drug cheat. Jon Jones ain't shit. He doesn't deserve a second chance. He doesn't belong in our sport. So can somebody explain to me in the comment section, when did this shift take place? And why did it take place? Do people not like Augustafson or something? Or, I mean, what is it? I mean, somebody let me know. Because the shit is not cool. I'm going to put it like this. If Tyrone Woodley got caught taking some PEDs, you know what the story would be for that man. And he's a champ. You know what the story would be for that man. You know? But this goes back to my other video I did earlier. They don't build stars. And when you don't build stars, you compromise yourself and you compromise your company. And not only that, you compromise yourself and you compromise your company in front of the whole world. Then nobody can take you serious. And then nobody can take the sport serious. And for the most part, UFC is kind of still a baby. It still needs to be growing. It still needs to be. But to start off like this, you know, I mean, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already don't pay these fighters shit. You know, again, 12 grand here, 8 grand here and all that other shit. So you already ain't paying them shit. You know what I'm saying? You stripped away their endorsement deals. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck are they running over there at the UFC? But anyways, I didn't want to spend too much time on that. I was just shocked by this. And I'm wondering if somebody can fill me in about why all of a sudden Jon Jones is like the last hope or he's the great UFC champion all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? He can refuse to answer questions about PEDs and everybody backs him up and cheers him and insult the reporter for doing her fucking job. Amazing. Bruce Vane, I'm out.
Alexander, what are your thoughts? Because it's been, the focus is on this instead of the big fight coming up.
Finally, a good question. Finally, a good question.
I think it's, you know, it's bad for the sport. It's bad for the organization. It's not good for anyone.